I'm at Shakaskraal at the moment, at the illegal landfill site that I have been covering for the last few weeks. And with me I have a number of environmentalists who will be conducting an air quality test here, just to be able to have figures so we can stand behind our case. So I'm going to actually give you the people who will be joining me today, and they are from the South Durban environmental group, and they are obviously air quality specialists. I'm going to turn around now just to show you what is going on. Just be prepared. This is not a pretty sight. Okay. Just bear with me, everyone. I'm just trying to find the right. Okay. Where would you like to do the interview? Okay.
So basically, that's the side going down.
Yeah. This is only, the last time I was here, there was literally no, I could drive through here. I did drive my car right to the end.
Okay.
And
from
this
side.
Yeah, this was all very empty. So this has obviously just grown in a huge way. So I'm with Bongani. He's an air quality geography info science officer for the South Durban.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
This is totally disturbing, This is totally disturbing because we even have waste pickers here, and they see an opportunity to come and take stuff because the high employment rates in the country. But this is totally unacceptable, and it's totally dangerous to actually have people on site. And also to have it's stinking. I'm actually struggling now as we speak.
The
just
smell
having
today
to put
is
my mask off.
crazy.
It's totally unacceptable.
So
I think really the councillor and the municipality need to be put to task and really find out exactly who's responsible and who are the companies that are coming to dump them, because this is totally unacceptable. And we can even see the communities around, those are the people that are bearing the brunt of the smell, the toxic smell, and there's flies here. Basically, there's no hygiene in this place whatsoever.
And now the bottom of this land isn't aligned. So obviously the seepage that is going through is crazy. Desmond, he heads up the Environmental Alliance group, very, very involved in the community air quality monitoring and policing, obviously these illegal landfill sites. And then we also have Tristan, who's the youth of the Alliance, and he's with the climate as well. Desmond, what do you think of this? Is this worse than what you expected?
Terrific, and I think what needs to be done is a proper discussion with everybody around this. I understand that people need jobs, but this is like it's crazy.
It is bad. Okay, Katrina's asked where this is, and this is in Shaka. So when you drive along the R102, you have the Shakas turn-off, and we're just off that road, so it's very, very close. And we are going to be conducting an air quality test as well, and see what the results are going to be. So the environmental department did serve a notice to the landowners almost last month, and they had given them 30 days to clear this up and rehabilitate the land. Obviously this is still very, very active, and nothing has been done. In fact, it looks worse. And we have Di Jones here. She's the chairperson of the North Coast Conservancy. Hi, Di. She's also joined us today on this, and we also have the local councillor, Privy, as well. What do you think, Di? Have you seen this lately?
I haven't seen it lately, but I've been aware of it for a long time, Penny, and we've been battling hard to get the authorities to come and do something about it, because basically the people around are being threatened by this landfill. There's no management whatsoever. The leachate worries me terribly because it's polluting the groundwater, and the Mfali River is quite close by.
Yeah.
Mfali River is an important river in this area. So from many points of view, including the people's health,
Yeah.
there are waste pickers on here. We don't know what's in the site. There's no control whatsoever. It makes it very dangerous.
Is correct. And I know you said that it's actually, you can find the site on Google Maps. That's how long it's been around.
It's got a pin saying landfill
Okay.
right next to Shakaskraal. But
Yeah.
that's the only identification. It's certainly not a registered landfill.
Yeah. And there is a Shakaskraal operating right on
Right
the site.
next to it, which is very much an unhealthy issue.
So we're going to follow the South Coast Alliance environmentalists who've all come here today, and they're going to be conducting a test. So guys, we are going to obviously do a story on this and post the results of the air quality. And the air quality has been a major issue on the North Coast, and without proper data you cannot pinpoint any particular industry. And this is what we wanted to do, is obviously try and isolate the culprits, or who are the industry people that are contributing to the air quality issue in our area. Okay, so what I will do, so Bongani, what's the next test? Are you going to go here, or how do you conduct the test? And can you just take us through what it entails?
Yeah, basically, Jez and I were just talking, because usually when we take a test, we always have to sniff around and find the most suitable, spots.
Yes.
And then obviously when we sniff around, we shouldn't only smell, like domestic rotten stuff.
Yes.
We should actually find some sort of like toxic pollutant in order for us to be able to take a sample, because basically using the bucket system, using the bucket system, it's mainly looking at different compounds, different pollutants, and there's a host of different pollutants. What's good about the bucket system is that it can capture more than 36 different compounds, more than 36 different pollutants. So, and what's also good as well is, maybe I could just Des, if you could please help me with this here. For example, if you look at the Taylor bag, it's a very, very scientific, bag. It's called the Taylor bag. This is a 10 liter size Taylor bag. They come in two sizes, the 10 liter and the 5 liter.
Yeah.
So the Taylor bag has got a nitrogen cushion layer in it. The nitrogen cushion layer, it actually separates different pollutants, separate different compounds, avoiding them to become a toxic stew. Example, we are situated in South Durban, where there's a high volume of different pollutants and polluters, like your big oil refinery, like your engine, Malaysian company, Shell and BP, Sapreth. We've got two of the biggest paper and pulp mills, Sapicyco and Monde Mill, and a host of others, different small industries that are dealing with chemicals. So basically now, this Taylor bag, then what happened is, in most cases you'll find VOCs. VOCs is volatile organic compounds. It's a host of different pollutants. Benzene, the carcinogen, it's one of those family of VOCs. But benzene is the only one that is regulated by our government. So basically, the other compounds are not regulated, like your xylene, your toluene, and a host of others. So basically, then the nitrogen cushion layer comes to effect when you are taking a sample, since it's a grape sample. So basically what I do is, as you can see, it's a normal 25 liter bucket.
Okay.
It's just a basic 25 liter bucket. And then what happened is, I'm just going to do a small demonstration. Oh, okay, there's a 5 liter.
Okay.
This is a 5 liter. As you can see, the sizes are totally different. 5 liter and a 10 liter. So basically, I'll do a demonstration with the 10 liter. What we do is, we take the bucket, I open right here about 3 threads, as you can see, and then I will insert it right there. So basically the lid It's we actually made this screen here. There is also no complication. It's for us to see when we're taking a sample if it's really the Tedlar bag is reacting, and then we put it inside, and then immediately I have to make sure that nothing is sort of like seeping out, and then the screen part of it will show me when I'm taking a sample, because since it's a grab sample, I need to make sure when I get on site, I need to go around and sniff around. So that's why I've got a long nose, usually us as the black folks who don't usually have long nose, but it actually came in handy for me. I think that's one of the reasons why the organization actually hired me, because they saw that, oh, this guy is actually a sniffer, because my portfolio is to have to go around and sniffing. So basically then what happens is I will take the pump, and this is just an ordinary pump. Some of us use our aerospace bed, aerospace to use this pump. You get it in macro, game, whatever the case may be. So it's just an ordinary pump. So I'll have to take my pump and put it there, like that. And then obviously that's where I created a vacuum. And then since it's a grab sample, whatever I can smell in that particular time, it actually goes into the bucket, and then it's captured on the Tedlar bag. And then the Tedlar bag, obviously, then because of the nitrogen cushion layer in it, it separates these different compounds, avoiding that to become a toxic stew. Because if you were to, example, take a sample and then you find that there are VOCs. VOC is a host of different chemicals that, as I mentioned previously. There's H2S, there's sulfur, there's ammonia, there's a host of different pollutants. So that's why the nitrogen cushion, they actually separate these different pollutants, so that when it gets to the lab, they are able to know and understand exactly the volume. Beside the volume, firstly, they need to understand the different kind of pollutants that were captured, and then also understand the different volumes of these different compounds in order to give us accurate information to say these were the compounds and these were the volumes for each compound. So basically what happens is then I will start pumping. Unfortunately I cannot do it with this here because these Tedlar bags are super expensive. Each Tedlar bag costs about 590, close to 700 each bag. So it's super expensive. Yeah. So basically,
so you want to waste it now?
I will have to pump. It's a grab sample. While I'm pumping, I'm taking whatever that's in the atmosphere is going inside the Tedlar bag. Yeah. While I'm pumping, I'm actually looking at the screen. That's where the screen comes to play, because it actually shows me if the Tedlar bag is reacting. It's coming bigger and bigger. If it's not becoming bigger and bigger, that means I need to readjust and do it again, and then ensure that I'm taking the sample. Okay, and then immediately when I'm done, then my Tedlar bag will be nice and big, and then what will happen after that? I'll take it out. Okay, since we were not actually doing a real test,
just a demonstration.
And then I'll make sure that I close the threads that I open. I close the threads, and then it will be then. I will close the threads. After closing the threads, then it will be nice and solid. So all the compounds, all the pollutants is actually captured here.
Yeah.
Then I'll need to take my log sheet, and then I'll have to log the date, the time, and the most critical thing is the date, the time, possibly if it's visible, the wind direction as well, to view if maybe to see the trees as to where they're blowing, or are there any sort of like visibility. Maybe there's an industry close by, maybe there's a landfill side by, and then I can actually mention all those and put it on my notes. And then I immediately then take this when I get to the office, put it in a box, make sure that it's safe, and then I courier it to the lab. Currently we're using a lab in Pretoria.
Okay.
And then I will mention to them that they need to do a screen testing, because the screen testing actually includes all different pollutants that they test for in that particular lab.
Yeah. And Bongani, what would be the difference between something like this and an air monitor? Because we have an air monitor in Belita which hasn't been working.
Good question. This here can capture for more than 36 different pollutants. Most of the sophisticated air monitors, like for example, we have about 15 in South Durban. Those equipment are super expensive. They cost about each cost about 1.5 million, because they're super sophisticated. But the problem and the limit for them is they capture for very few different compounds. we're looking at plus minus maybe 5 or 7 different compounds. But for this simple equipment, simple system, can capture for different compounds close to 40 different pollutants. So it's simple, it's usable. At one stage, the municipality of eThekwini has actually borrowed the very same equipment because they saw it has been tried and tested. It passed through the South African Bureau standards, so it's 100% trustworthy.
Yeah.
They've actually borrowed, they used it somewhere around 2005, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they used it because they saw that it actually gives credible information. So there's no industry, no government officials, no individuals can actually dispute results that are being captured from the bucket system. It was, okay, I think this is very important to mention as well. It wasn't established by SETI, but it was established by another, friend organization called the Global Community Monitoring, GCM, Global Community Monitoring. They were based in California. They actually were building this kind of equipment to assist communities that are staying in industrial polluted areas, and of course you cannot access information like your air quality data and so forth. So it was basically empowering those communities, globally. So basically one friend of theirs and Bobby called Danny Larson is late now, from GCM. He actually went to different countries, especially countries where there was high level of chemical and industrial pollution, and then basically they also came to South Durban and they introduced this bucket. So we've been using it for over how many years now, Tim?
Over nearly 20 years.
Yeah. I won't get you started on the air monitoring stations, because obviously the data is as good as the people who read it. And right now the challenge is there's no qualified person to read the data if the air monitors were, the air stations were obviously operational. So where are we going to go and take a sample of the landfill air?
I don't think we'll be able to go on this coast once on the other side, because apparently
okay, we will go. Okay, there is the operator. We've seen the operator. Obviously we aren't able to put him on camera or mention names now, because the provincial department has served a notice on him, and it will become a criminal case, so we don't want to jeopardize that. So we're going to finish off now and take you to the second landfill site.